Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Maloney with Spaulding Ridge. Today, I'm going to walk you through rate case planning for a utility company using the Anaplan platform. Rate case planning, something that we typically see being done with multiple Excel models, usually disconnected Excel models between different departments or planners in the organization. So what I want to show you is how Anaplan can be utilized to perform detailed planning by individual rate categories, to connect planners across the organization, to ultimately drive efficient insights and efficient planning activities to develop a long-range plan. So I'm going to develop a Spaulding Ridge Utility Company's long-range plan for you using Anaplan. So let me hop into our model. So what you'll see here are some KPIs that will bring us into the different planning elements: customer planning, commodity usage planning, rate filings that ultimately will generate a revenue plan over a 3-year outlook. Just see in our company, we have a Spaulding Gas operating company, operates in Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio across 3 states. We've got an electric operating company, same operating area. We've got a water company and a shared services department that operates over the top of all 3 operating companies. So I'm gonna show you how we're gonna generate customer plans, usage plans, enter not just approved rates, but also proposed and planned rates for upcoming commission filings to generate a revenue outlook. So let me first go into our customer planning. So what you're going to see here in the top left are really our inputs, our planning inputs to be able to come up with an outlook for what our customer count will be, not just an overall customers, but an individual rate category. So I've got this broken out to be a residential and commercial industrial rate categories. You may have many more different types of rate categories, and Anaplan really doesn't have a limit to the number of rate categories that you can plan for. But you'll see those 3 throughout our planning element for the Spaulding Gas Company. Right? So historical actuals being FY23 and previous, you'll see in here, and then our ability to enter in FY24, 25, 26 growth percentages based on those actuals. So I've got a few pieces of insights here in front of me on this customer growth planning page, being a baseline case that I'm building for you first, and then a high and a low case. So you'll see the ability to flip between scenarios, and this really drives efficient results and to be able to see risks and patterns to what our long range plan, what the spread could look like in our overall revenue. So I've put in for my base case an outlook that I gained from a business analytics department where they used historical data and some insights into future customer movements to generate a growth pattern for residential, customer, commercial, and industrial. And you'll see those here entered in the grid. KPIs down below that show our customer count for FY24, year-over-year growth percent, and then ultimately a revenue per customer line. So we're looking at Illinois as a whole here. If we looked at just the residential rate category, you'll see that residential category is the lion's share of our business. We do have commercial and industrial customers as well, but most of our customers are residential style customers. Down below, you'll see a grid with all the same information that was in the charts, broken out by that base case, and then a high and a low case. So for my base case, like I said, I got that information from a business analytics department. My high case, I've got some insight into a new development in Ridgeville, Illinois. So we're going to enter in a different growth pattern for our customers that's really going to impact the residential and industrial customers in Ridgeville. So we've got different growth patterns for that high case. And the low case, we're going to assume some economic development delays. So that's going to impact all 3 of our growth categories, or all 3 of our rate categories. And you'll see those as different inputs here. So that will generate 3 different trend lines for base case, high case, and low case in our customer count. So now let me move on to usage, commodity usage. All right, so again, we got a base case, a high case, and a low case for all 3 of our rate categories. So let me turn on these trend lines here. So here's what we're seeing that's been put in here. So in our base case, again, we're taking the insight in from our business analytics department, making that our base. We're seeing that there's power efficiency and gas efficiency across the board in both residents, commercial, and industrial, where each individual customer is using less of our commodity. To be able to see insights into individual rate categories, we can just click on here like seeing residential, and our trend line below shows us each month, what the usage per customer was during those months. So we get that insight while we're planning, we get those analysis insights. You can see as we build up each case, there's trend lines off to the right here. And as I come down here below, we'll see residential. Again, KPIs on the left, and then a projection on the right. So here's our residential category. We can flop over to our commercial category and see trend lines there. And again, with our industrial category, see trend lines there. So ultimately, we've built a base case here with growth or here contraction patterns for usage rates. Our high case that we've entered in is based on power demand. So we know that there's going to be increased power demand. We have insight into that in our regions. And our low case is going to be an increased adoption of energy efficient products. So seeing less used across our residential and commercial categories. So we've entered those in here, and you'll see 3 different trend lines now built for each rate category. All right, so next up is rate filings. So now I'm filing, this is not just our approved or running rates with our customers, but also planned rates. So you'll see this list of upcoming filings here, attributes associated with each one, like an effective date, a filing type, whether it's permanent or a temporary rider, comments associated with it, an end date, and whether it's been approved. All right, so you'll see that 3 of these have been approved by the commission. 1 is in planning phase. We have not yet presented it to the commission, but we do want to plan for it. And in our scenario cases, we're going to use for high base and low case only the approved filings. In our high case, we're going to include this planned filing really to see the impact that it has into our overall revenue. So lower on this page here, you'll see some of the analytics associated with each one of these filings. So here in our 2024 annual filing, if I click on that, you'll see the revenue associated based on our customer projection, our usage projection. What does that filing bring in to our overall revenue? So it's split based on an effective date of September 1st, 2024, between FY 24, 25, and 26. It's got base revenue increments, and it's got usage revenue increments. So you'll see across 25 and 26, it's just over 2 million that it's adding to our bottom line. Right. The summary here in all of Illinois, you're seeing all of the filings that are planned. 2024, net zero 2025. And again, like I shared previously, that green program, you're only going to see on our high case. So here where we have our high case selected, we're going to enter in those rider rate increments. All right. And if I drop into individual rate categories, you'll be able to see the rate projections for each rate category based on the increments that you've entered for the filings. So we've now built out a base case, a low case, and a high case for customer count, for usage, for filing structure. Now let's see what that does to our overall revenue. So here we've got at the kind of the start is a series of KPIs. So on the left, I've got my base case KPIs. So for FY24, if I go back to Illinois as a whole, I've got that plan 125 million that we started with, just short of 90,000 customers, a usage count, and a revenue per customer. You're able to see that down below in grids and trend lines broken out between residential, commercial, and industrial rate categories. And then I've got our scenarios. So if I look at what does a high case do for us? Well, ultimately that drives us about 2 million more into our FY24 revenue. And if I look out at FY26, it's up to about 8 million more, 142 million versus 134 million. You're able to see these data points down below here. Our high case, our low case by each rate category across the full jurisdiction. And then on the left here is our base case. You're able to see low scenarios, the impact that those are. What is the risk to our business if we realize some of these different scenarios? So for what we've entered in and what we're planning for in our 3-year window, the low risk is about 4 million for our operating company in Illinois. So in all, this is what I wanted you to see in Anaplan, getting detailed planning in Anaplan based on rate categories.